ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधाजलधे महितोपनिषत् कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यासवैशम्पायनाग्निवल्क्य आद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तगुरूणां देवतानां श्रुतिमातुः परब्रह्मणः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं समस्तसनातनधर्मसाधकभक्तसंस्थापकानां विघ्नशत्रुनिर्मूलनद्वारा शक्तिसम्पदादिप्राप्तिद्वारा धर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये दिग्विजयप्राप्त्यर्थं समस्त विश्व एकता शांति कल्याण अवाप्त्यर्थं श्री आरोग्य सूक्तस्य पारायणं तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। दिस रोग निवारण सूक्तम टुडे विल चैंट इट 2 times. ओम अथ रोग निवारण सूक्तम। ओम जरायुज प्रथम उश्रियो वृषावात भ्रजा स्तनयन्नेति वृष्ट्या सनो मृडाति तन्वरुजुगोरुजन्य एकमोजस्त्रेधा विचक्रमे अंगे अंगे शोचिषा शिश्रियाणं नमस्यन्तस्त्वा हविषा विधेम अंगात् समङ्कान् हविषा विधेमयो अग्रभेत् पर्वा स्यात् ग्रभीता मुञ्च शीर्षक्त्या उतकास एनं परुष्परुराविवेशायो अस्य यो अभ्रजावातजायश्च शुष्मो वनस्पतीन् सचतां पर्वतांश्च शम्मे परस्मै गात्राय शमस्त्ववराय मे शम्मे चतुर्भ्यो अङ्गेभ्यः शमस्तु तन्वे मम। ॐ जरायुज प्रथम उश्रियो वृषावात भ्रजा स्तनयन्नेति वृष्ट्या सनो मृडाति तन्वरुजुगोरुजन् य एकमोजस्त्रेधा विचक्रमे अंगे अंगे शोचिषा शिश्रियाणं नमस्यन्तस्त्वा हविषा विधेम अंकान् समङ्कान् हविषा विधेमयो अग्रभेत् पर्वास्याग्रभीता मुञ्च शीर्षक्त्या उतकास एनं परुष्परुराविवेशायो अस्य यो अभ्रजावातजायश्च शुष्मो वनस्पतीन् सचतां पर्वतांश्च शम्मे परस्मै गात्राय शमस्त्ववराय मे शम्मे चतुर्भ्यो अङ्गेभ्यः शमस्तु तन्वे मम ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्री अथर्ववेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयोपनिषद ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः येरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ चतुर्थोऽनुवाकः यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनन्दं ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न बिभेति कदाचनेते तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मान्मनोमयात् अन्योऽन्तर आत्मा विज्ञानमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य श्रद्धैव शिरः ऋतं दक्षिणः पक्षः सत्यमुत्तरः पक्षः योग आत्मा महपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 Humble salutations at the feet of Shruti Mata Parabrahma Tattva, all Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Rishi Muni Guru, and our own Aradhya Devatas. Salutations to Vedavyasa Bhagavan, Vaishampayana Rishi, Yagnavalkya Rishi. Let us salute humbly to our Bhashyakara Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavan. Salutations to all the Gurus who are blessing us, our own Guru. Vedantic Vicharana, as we are seeing, is toughest thing. Unless we bring our antakarana to that mood of always contemplation and inquiry and keep only in that mood and consistently do the Shravana and Manana, the Vishayas of Vedanta will not be easily understood or remembered. And unless they are understood and remembered, the true real sadhana cannot happen through us for our own siddhi. Knowing these inevitable things, we have to slowly, with first our interest, second our prayers, third our efforts, we have to bring our inner equipment to be qualified for receiving, understanding, digesting, practicing, experiencing this Brahma Vidya. And as we saw in our other texts like Ramayana Adi, when we are also the devotee praying to the Lord Upasana with the Ishvara Anugraha, all these faculties become intact, they all become worthy for our Adhyatmika understanding and sadhana. Let us take it sincerely, seriously. Let us try our best every day's attempt. A jolly, joyful, very inspiring attempt in this regard. Keep on doing. That is what is in our hands. That is what we go on doing. Our own attempts to bring our antakarana to be fit for Vedanta and using that antakarana for this Shravanam, Adhenam, main thing is Mananam Chintanam. Then the Vishaya Avagahana means the subject matter starts becoming clear in our understanding without any vagueness. With that clear understanding, then we will very clearly know what therefore sadhana to be done at every moment unambiguously. So may we all be that way with our effort, by God's grace, be in that mood all the time. We are doing here in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Valli, the Pancha Kosha Viveka. As just now we saw, every kosha has to be heard, has to be thoroughly dissected, analyzed, understood. And then at each kosha level, particular purposes are there for that kosha. Other than that, anything else is delusion. So our effort is understanding each of the kosha, understanding why that kosha is given, understanding how we, by becoming identified with, we are binding ourselves, understanding how to get rid of the bondage, and coming out of that bondage, using the koshas for the purpose with which they are given. We have to slowly evolve in our identity from the each of the grass koshas to the subtler and subtler. This is in short is sadhana. For example, the Annamaya kosha. So clearly it is said, Annarasa it is made up of, Annarasa it stays in, Annarasa it goes back into. So in this there should be no ambiguity, pakka conviction, no vagueness, no doubt at all regarding, because nothing to question it there. That is how it is. This body has come that way only, maintained that way only, going that way. Second thing is, God, what for this deha is given? For me, the jiva to stay in this, go through prarabdha, do the dharma, and do the adhyatmic sadhana. Other than these three, any other extra thing done with this deha or for this deha is the cause of the dukkha or problem. Like in the body also, exactly what food required is given, it is so happy. Anything here and there given, the body suffers. So too you and I as the sadhakas suffer at the Annamaya level because of the delusion of misusing this in so many ways. So if we can curtail all that, avoid all that, and exactly see it as it is to be seen, and use it only for that particular purpose, then Annamaya is not that much problem. Else we will be lost only in the Annamaya by doing with it that which is not to be done and reaping the result of that in terms of bondage. More than these two, it becomes in what you say a slavery to that, a habit to that. Live only as Annamaya. That is what most of we live. So we have to use our subtle intellect to clearly understand it, and a vigorous practice is to be done in this regard to get out of this tadatmata with Annamaya. It's a struggle, no doubt. But that struggle, when we undertake and we really achieve to that, the freedom experienced also will be of great degree. High level of joy will be experienced when conviction comes that I am not Annamaya Kosha. It is given to me. This is what its position. This is what it is used for. No. In these few things, when we are clear, the joy is different. The joy is what? First and foremost, the fear of death goes away, including the old age and all that. Then that slavery to the Dehadi goes away. Then the mind may, the heaviness is because of the Dehadi Tadatmya only. That also gets reduced. But there is a fear because So far we lived as Aham Dehosmi. Then suddenly I am not Dehosmi, there will be fear. But we understand that we are leaving the Deha Tadatmya. We are not leaving the Deha. Is it not? We stay in the same body, but the difference. Like a wife and husband fighting, divorced, and again they live friendly. They are friends, but they no more in that fighting of a husband and wife because all those rights on each other they gave up through the divorce. But they friendly. There's a chance to live, no? In the same way, तादात्म्य तो छोड़कर इसी देह से हम जो साधना है, सेवा है, धर्म है, वो करते रह सकते. Therefore, it will be there. Don't worry, we will not die. But it is used only for the purpose for which it is given. Any extra nautanki is not done. So that's how it is. Like with every object of the world, we know its utility, we know its limitation. So jhadu hai, so you take it and do that 10-15 minutes jhadu of the house. After that, you don't hold it all the time unless you are Delhi chief minister and all. So you keep it there. In the same way, dehadi upadhi. Then definitely we have to increase our awareness and atma bhava with the pranamaya for the sake of getting detached from annamaya. As much pranoham, pranoham, pranoham we do, so much dehoham, dehoham goes away. That also consciously. The presence of prana inside the annamaya totally permeating as an atma to prana annamaya, it is there with its five limbs. This everything of that we have to practice it to such an extent that the Shruti Mata, what she said about the pranamaya purusha pakshi, we should conspicuously feel in us at any given moment, whenever we want, the moment sit, immediately my attention should be on my pranamaya kosha, which is permeating the entire deha, and then it has got the five limbs. In that awareness of pranamaya, my identity or attention on the annamaya should be dropped. That is called as sadhana. That is what is meant here when we say from each of the stula kosha atma tadatmya, we are entering to the sukshma kosha tadat. And that thing we should deliberately do and feel it, experience it. It can be done. That effort is not done, therefore we have never experienced that. Effort is not done because of what we are going to study now. The shraddha is not there, interest is not there, the inspiration is not there. See, doing spiritual sadhana out of compulsion or emotion or some grace is different from doing spiritual sadhana by choice, that I want to achieve that goal. For that, these are the sadhanas, sacrifices, tasks I have to take up, I will do. When such way we do sadhana, anything, whether it is japa, puja, and all, they really give us the taste of doing and joy of achieving. So let us commit that way to discover the pranamaya in us and develop our identity with that more and more so that our tadatma with the deha gets reduced. Are we ready for that exercise? We have to ask in ourselves and see. So too from this pranamaya, prana eva shiraha vyano dakshina pakshaha apana uttara pakshaha आकाश आत्मा पृथ्वी पुच्छम प्रतिष्ठा. Maybe it takes 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of dhyana abhyasa to become aware of this pranamaya kosha permeating fully the annamaya. We may need to do. Let us do it. Is it not? Take it as an entertainment, take it a hobby, take it as a joy, take it as sadhana, take it as a means of reducing our own misery, means of our own liberation. कुछ भी कहो, but that thing घुसना चाहिए दिमाग में कि मैं करूँगा किसी भी कीमत पर. This is what we are going to study in our Yoga Darshana also when we talk about the Asampragnata Samadhi to the yogis. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Prajna, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvakam, Itaresha. Everywhere that is the case. Even in the worldly success also, we have to love the goal. We have to so much identify with the goal that we should be inspired from within to do everything to reach to that goal. That lack of virya, called as utsaha, is the one because of which we half-heartedly do, result doesn't come. Because the result has not come, again we feel demoralized. So these are all the inner traits, every one of them we have to recognize how the mind is playing its role in not allowing us to do sadhana, and the same mind is feeling regretted, guilty. On the other hand, intellect inspired should do sadhana. Same intellect should doubly inspired because sadhana is done. I am able to do it. In that way, these all count in spiritual sadhana. Moods, emotions, there's what is it, the inspirations, the readinesses, all put together is adhyatmikata. They also are very important parts. Now, from the Pranamaya, we come to the Manomaya. This Manomaya Kosha is also to be felt as we felt about the Pranamaya. It is of the Vritti Rupa, Sankalpa Vikalpadi Vritti Rupa. It has also got the five limbs. This Manomaya, generally, as per the divine order, should be of Vedatma, Vedamaya. But this mana, because it is lost in its own whims, fancies, desires, raga, dvesha, lost in its identity with the prana, lost in its identity with the annamaya, this manamaya lost all its capacity of having the, what do you say, Veda Atmata. Gaya pura wo. Any instrument not rightly used, wrongly used, it loses its original capacity. कुछ भी हो, is it not? Your own car not maintained properly and took it every day through that road where there is no road only. पूरा टायर का लेकर के सारा गाड़ी का जो ना every part becomes loose, everything gets spoiled. Earlier day ऐसे होता था, रोड ठीक होते नहीं थे, जब और उसी में साइकिल स्कूटर ले जाते थे, धीरे धीरे कुछ ही दिनों में वो मडगार्ड से लेकर everything gets disturbed. Then that vehicle becomes difficult for us to use or drive. So too our mind, so divine, so sacred, which is actually Vedatma. It has Yaju as Shira, Rug as Dakshina Paksha, Sama Uttara Paksha. Then what is that? Adesha Atma, Atharvangrasa Pucham. ऐसा होने वाला sacred mind को, because of inadvertence and all, we have brought it to such a level that none of these beautiful things are there in it. Like any child born should be with full of all cultures and samskaras, should be brought up. By the age of 10, 15, he should have the full idea of how the whole day has to be lived from morning till night. But if the grandparents, parents don't know all these, and if they don't train him like that and allow him to sleep like buffalo up to 9 o'clock, and no food discipline, no exercise discipline, no spiritual discipline, no discipline at home to take part in the service, no Atiti Satkara training given to him, no work is given to him to go and get something from outside. कुछ भी नहीं दिया तो कैसा बनेगा वो 15 साल के बाद? Is it not? 15 or 18 years, he will be of a very useless cartoon. And we do like that only with our children, grandchildren. Some academics they study, but other than that, useless. How did it happen? Because of non-training. But from the childhood, if he is trained, is it not? Compulsory करके ऐसे ही होना है बस. You can't give freedom, you can't take freedom if you want to properly grow. Anywhere it is so, no? A tree, if it has to properly grow, it can't be given freedom. He will given freedom, it will go here and there. तो उसको प्रॉपरली वो कनेक्शन वो क्या कहते हैं ऑल द फेंसिंग वगैरह हैज टू बी डन. On the other hand, right from the beginning, if we start all those things, by the age of 15, he knows. Parents, their value, respect. Grandparents, their value, respect. Neighbors, their importance, import value to them. Relatives, importance, going to them, inviting them. At home, what are the things required? In that, what is my role to be done? See how wonderful that child will be. But we don't train. So, too, for various reasons, our mind is misguided, mistrained. Therefore, in our mind, other than tamoguna, other than the Vishayasakti of the Rajoguna, nothing of the Sattva at this moment. We recognize that mistake now, keep on rectifying it. So, that is how spiritual people understand where is what is going wrong. They keep on rectifying it there. Yoga Bhashyam, it's called Muda and Kshipta is our mana. At least bring it to Vikshipta and start doing some substantial things. Slowly take it to Ekagra and then with the Ekagra mana, only Vedamaya उसको बना के रखना. वेद वृत्तियों का ही मन में होना चाहिए विचार हमेशा. Means what our Shastra said, what our Guru said, उसका ही भान मन में हमेशा होना है. In that the last two are important. Atharvangirasa Pucham Pratishtha Adesha Atma. So all Adeshas which are given in the Brahmana portion, Veda should be very clear in the mana. Is it not? Then Atharvangirasa Pucha, the Shantika Paustika, means for the Shanti and Pushti, what exactly to be done, that should be very clear in the mind all the time. These are all very sublime shlokas. We are seeing at one angle, even Bhashyam very little only we are discussing. But they all talk actually about our own life, what is happening, what is supposed to happen with every of our kosha. The Manomoya kosha, its prucham, the pratishtha should be the Shantika Paustika Yajnas as conceived and given by Atharva and Angirasa rishis. Means that knowledge implementing which there is always pushti and shanti at our mana level that we should know and do. वो आजकल देखो हमेशा मन में अशांति अशांति है and there is no feeling of pushti or tushti or contentment. Should we not recognize it? Should we not know what is that brings shanti and pushti to the mana? अधर्वांगिरस लोगों को वो शास्त्रों में वो पता है. वो मंत्र हमको प्रतिष्ठा मन के लिए बनना है. Then Adesha Atma. How can the mind have its own whims and fancies and imagination just because it can do? Whatever Adesha is given, that alone should be accepted for work or practice. Like any instruments given, the seller or the manufacturer gives Adesha कि इसको ऐसा यूज करना. अब कि ऐसा करो तो काम करेगा. इफ यू नो मेरी मर्जी है करके उल्टा कर सकते हो इसलिए कर दिया तो टूट जाएगा वो ना. जस्ट बिकॉज आई कैन गिव द की उल्टा दैट इफ आई डू इट आउट ऑफ माई ओन ईगो वाई शुड आई फॉलो व्हाट दैट मैनुअल सेज मेरी मर्जी है ऐसा करके उल्टा घुमाओ तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट काम को भी नहीं रहेगा वो टूट जाएगा वो. सेम इज द माइंड. हु गेव माइंड लॉर्ड and what he gave it for these practices. That's called adesha. उस आदेश के अनुसार जियो. Wonderful, no? That is आत्मा actually. अंत मन का आत्मा आदेश है. श्रुति में कहा हुआ आदेश. उस आदेश पालन के लिए be attentive. That the other three limbs of Ruga, Yaju, Sama study we do, or listening we do, or remembrance we do. Connected to the Atma or the other limbs, working for the Atma or the other limbs. थोड़ा मन में रख लेना उस बात को. The Atma is central portion. The Pucham, Shiraha, these two. Is it not in a Bakshi? Its head, its wings, so its feet or the tail connected to the central and working for the center only. Is it not? Head will not go for itself. Hands will not, or wings will not fly for themselves. Tail is not wagging for itself. All of that are doing for the Atma. Therefore, in the Manomaya Kosha, for the sake of Adesha, because we should know what to do, clarity must be there, and that should be taken as an Adesha. Already given, only we have to become aware of it. मीन्स क्या करना है उस आदेश पाने के लिए which is the atma called as mana we have to go through the rug yaju sama रुग यजु साम का अध्ययन से ये आदेश रूपी आत्मा का संभालना होता है इन द सेंस माइंड इज वेरी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट what the Vedas are giving adesha to conduct so that the mind is safe and the mind is used to go to the higher kosha and reach to Paramatma. In fact, each kosha should be in such a way that by doing its work, that kosha should help you and I, the jiva, to lift us to the next kosha. Like the ground floor should be so strong in itself that it should help for the construction of the first floor, then the second. If the ground is such one that it makes all other four collapsed and it also collapses, then that construction is not healthy. So in a human being's panchakosha construction, the ideal most thing is what? Not that Annamaya is binding you and I, the Jiva Sadhaka, to itself and making us misuse it and destroy ourselves. The Annamaya should be learnt, should be managed, should be trained, should be used in such a way at the Annamaya Kosha level, there is a fulfillment of not misusing it and rightly using it. And the next fulfillment is then it is over. Now you can go to the Pranamaya. Like भोजन में पहले आपने दाल चावल खाया it should be so trupti that it should shift or push us to the sabji chawal, the South Indian thali. Then to the सांभर चावल जिसके बाद रसम फिर दही एक एक तृप्त होकर आगे में ले जाना चाहिए ये सब ज्ञान हमारे अंदर धीरे धीरे शास्त्र वेदांत पढ़ने से आएगा इट्स ए लॉन्ग लॉन्ग प्रोसेस बट कंटिन्यूस एफर्ट वी आर कंटिन्यूइंग that should be put for long but that continuation should not be with any discretion is those things which neutralize this knowledge this practice we have to keep avoiding them. That's one more thing we have to learn, you and I particularly. And more prayers, more effort, then more clarity. So, after seeing this Manomaya, even Manomaya Kosha also is not Atma. Okay? It is also out of Mithya Pratyaya only taken as an Atma. It has its own Atma. And that is our Atma, not the Manomaya. That also is very full, permeating the Manomaya Kosha totally. And it also got the Purusha Vidhata. That Purusha Vidhata it has got from Manomaya. And the name of that is called the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Fourth kosha is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, Tasmadva etasmat manomayat. Tasmat etasmat manomayat. From that, this manomaya, other than that, this manomaya, anyaha, other, antaraha, inside, atma, the real atma of ours, compared with manomaya, is vijnanamaya. See, slowly chant karte hue, we have to feel the literal meaning of it. Then the logic of it. Then that logic in the deep contemplative seat we have to use and see. When you see it, definitely we will become aware of the presence of Vijnanamaya. We will also see that it is the Atma of the Manomaya, permeating the Manomaya, ruling, governing, are supposed to rule and govern the Manomaya. All that will come to us. But that type of Shuddha Sattva Guna we have to obtain. Now the mind is in the Rajas Tamas, therefore it doesn't have the capacity to clearly understand every of these aspects. But by all upasanas, etc., when we bring our mana to that Shuddha and Ekagra Bhumika, then we will be able to very distinctly, clearly see them without needing so many of explanations. मंत्र को पढ़ने मात्र से ही विषय स्पष्ट रूप से समझ में आ सकता है. That should be our goal. Any Upanishad, any mantra, any Purana, any Ityasa, by looking at this shloka, the essence of that should enter into us. That much we have to prepare our antakarana. Then the sadhana, study, everything is effortless and joyful. Anyway, now, tasmadva etasmat manomayat. Tasmat from that, etasmat this, manomayat manomay se हटकर अन्यहा अदर अंतरः इनसाइड आत्मा द सेल्फ इज विज्ञानमय. सो तस्माद् वा एतस्माद् मनोमयात् अन्यः अंतरः आत्मा विज्ञानमय. द अदर थिंग्स कॉमन. तेनैष पूर्णः, तेन विज्ञानमयेन एषः मनोमयः पूर्णः. तेनैष पूर्णः देन सवा एष पुरुषविद एव. He is also Purushavidha. Tasya Purushavidatam. Of it, the Purushavidata is Anvayam Purushavidaha. Following the Purushavidha of the Manomaya. मनोमय का पुरुषविद कहाँ से आया? प्राण से. प्राण को कहाँ से है? अन्न का. अन्न का कहाँ से है? अन्न रस से. अन्न रस has no Purushavidha, but through the Anna Rasa, the Purushavidha came. Purushavidha means the head, the tail, the stomach or the Atma and the wings. The Purushavidha means Purusha Akara. Therefore, Annamaya Purusha, Pranamaya Purusha, Manomaya Purusha, Vijnanamaya Purusha, that way. More specifically, that Purusha is told to be as the Pakshi. So, Pakshi Rupa Purusha Annamaya. Pakshi Rupa Purusha Pranamaya. Pakshi thing is common. The Pakshi, it is simile is taken for explaining about the 5 limbs. That is for our concentration also, and that is true as regards the Deha is concerned. Deha ke anusari panchakosha Deha ke andar hai. And that is how we have to recognize and transcend and go to the self. When you go to the self, in that self only, not only these panchakoshas, the entire universal panchakoshas are just hanging. वो सब हमको धीरे धीरे आगे पता चल जाता है. Now, having seen the Vijnanamaya koshas, Purusha Vidatva, now the most important topic is of the Vijnanamaya kosha, the 5 limbs we have to study. So, Anvayam Purusha Vidaha, Tenaisha Purnaha, don't forget, the Manomaya is Purna with the Vijnanamaya. What is Vijnanamaya kosha? In general, what are the 5 limbs in it? This is a subject. In the mantra it is given. Bhashyakara explained to us. We will focus, try to understand it now. Now, Anyaha Antaraha, I am seeing the Bhashya, the first para, last line. Anyaha Antaraha Atma Vijnanamayaha. Manomayasya Abhyantara Vijnanamayaha. So, inside the Manomaya is the Vijnanamaya. Inside the Manomaya is Vijnanamaya. What is inside? Actually, Vijnanamaya is the support and Atma for the Manomaya. For the sake of Vijnanamaya, the Manomaya is there. So we see it the other way around. Manomaya is the container, Vijnanamaya is the content. It looks like that while saying that it is inside. Inside the Mana is Vijnana. But little later on, we come to know that for the sake of Vijnanamaya is Manomaya. Vijnanamaya is the Atma Manomaya. Vijnanamaya is more pervasive than the Manomaya. Therefore, Vijnanamaya is the container. Manomaya are the content. So, that somersault we will do little later. So, here अन्यः अंतरः आत्मा विज्ञानमयः. So manomayasya abhyantara vijnanamaya. Let us feel like that and discover the vijnanamaya. Because the one who transcends the sentiments, etc., foolishness, that he becomes wise. है ना? In the mind, sentiments, emotions are there. In the Vijnanamaya, knowledge is there. जो बंदे सेंटिमेंट इमोट छोड़ेंगे वही विज्ञानमय बन तक जा सकते. Then later on, the one who masters the Vijnanamaya, he will control the sentiments of mind but doesn't become slave of it. Is it not? Temporarily keep up the Manomaya. Reach to the Vijnanamaya. Then know that Vijnanamaya ke control mein Manomaya, like Arjuna. He was in the Manomaya, crying. Bhagwan scolded him, Klaibhyam ityadi, made Arjuna keep the Manomaya for the timing away and equipped his Vijnanamaya with his knowledge. As long as Manomaya was predominant, it never allowed Vijnanamaya to function. Therefore, unless the Manomaya is kept away, Vijnanamaya cannot be reached. Therefore, Manomaya ke andar Vijnanamaya hai. That sort of expression. But keeping away Manomaya for the time being and becoming equipped in Vijnanamaya's knowledge, from that standpoint, when you see, then the Vijnanamaya is the one at which we live and use the Manomaya, keeping it under control. Don't allow the Manomaya to dominate Vijnanamaya. That's what Arjuna did. Toward the end of Gita, he is no more sentimental, emotional regarding the Yuddha, to do or not to do. To do also was emotion because he want to kill those whom he hates like Duryodhana. He doesn't want to fight also because of his emotion that Bhishma Drona are there. Now he has transcended with the listening of Gita, the Manomaya. From the Vijnanamaya level, he decided it is a Dharma Yuddha, I have to do it. Then no emotion, no sentiment will corrupt his intellect. That is how you and I in general have to evolve from the Sharira, from the Prana, from the Mana, to the level of living life intelligently with the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Okay. Now Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is Jnata, Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is Karta, Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is Bhokta, Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is Samsari, Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is this Sadakaha, Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is Jivaha. First to be clear about it for all the time. Not Anna Prana Mana. They are instruments for the Vijnanamaya Kosha, Sthita, you and I, the Jiva. तो मैं नामक जीव कहाँ है? विज्ञानमय कोश. मैं नामक ज्ञाता किसमें है? विज्ञानमय कोश. मैं नामक कर्ता विज्ञानमय. मैं नामक भोक्ता द विज्ञानमय. So कर्तृत्व प्रधान is विज्ञानमय कोश. ज्ञान प्रधान is the मनोमय कोश. But this ज्ञान का किसको है? Whose jnana is that? Who is the owner of that? Knower of that? User of that? That person is Vijnanamaya Kosha. So now, one by one, we'll see. First, Manomaya Veda Atma Uktaha. Okay? So, Manomaya ka, all the five limbs are told to be of the Veda. So, Yajureva Shira, Rugdakshana Paksha, Samottara Paksha, Adesha Atma, Atharvangirasa, Pucham Pratishtha. Okay? Manomaya is Veda Atma. Now, what is Veda? Vedas are Shabdarashi. Vedas are the mantras. At the thought form, in the mana, vritti rupa. Later on, from the throat through the mouth, in the shabda rupa, Vedas are expressing. But what is the meaning in these Veda mantras? What is its purpose? What is its consequences? Who decides all that? The authenticity of the Veda mantra. That is called as the next thing other than Manomaya, called as Vijnanamaya. That is what he has said. Veda Artha Vishaya Buddhi. Buddhi means understanding. Vishaya means subject. Artha means the meaning. So Veda Artha Vishaya Buddhi, the meaning of the Veda mantras as an understanding. Veda Artha Vishaya Buddhi Vijnanamaya. वेद है, वेदों का शब्द है, शब्दों का अर्थ है, वो अर्थ ही जिसका विषय है उस स्थिति को बुद्धि कहते हैं. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग, लाइक गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे. So this is a mantra chanted by the mouth. Mind was there behind the chanting, because without the vritti formation, the Veda Mata cannot express as mantra outside. But what is the artha of this? Gananam Ganapatim Tva Havamahe. Tva, you. Who are you? Gananam Ganapati. You are the Pati of the all Ganas. Havamahe, I am invoking you. No, this meaning is not happening in the Manomaya Kosha. The meaning where it is happening, it is called as the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Is it not? So Vedartha Vishaya Buddhi. Okay. And this Vedartha Vishaya Buddhi, how it has to be? Vedartha Nischayatmika, not Samshayatmika. Buddhi means Avagahana, and that Avagahana Nischayatmik. अगर वो संशयात्मिक हो गए ना, again it is back to the mind level, because mind is the one संशय विपर्य वाला. Mind is the one which is संकल्प विकल्प वाला. So वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि. So that knowledge is not having any doubt. So confusionless, doubtless, ambiguityless, crystal clear understanding about the meaning of Veda mantra, for that matter anything. That state of being of the Antakarana is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Two things are there in that. One is Jnanam, second is the owner of that Jnanam. Subsequently, the user of that Jnanam. ये तीनों मिलकर विज्ञानमय कोश में. सो वेदात्म उक्त वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि निश्चयात्मिका विज्ञानम. विज्ञानम, अगेन वी आर सीइंग इट. वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि निश्चयात्मिका विज्ञानम. सो दैट firm understanding about the meaning of the Veda mantras, that state is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then Tacha, that also ki Adhyavasaya Lakshanam. Adhyavasaya Lakshanam is what? Ki through the inquiry, the correct meaning is reached to. बुद्धि क्या करती है ना, डेटा को लेकर विश्लेषण विचारणा करके हम सही नतीजे पे पहुंचती है. देन इट बिकम्स इट्स विज्ञान. सो विचार के द्वारा, दैट मीन्स अध्यवसाय लक्षण से, निश्चयात्मिका मीन्स डाउटलेस, विज्ञान मीन्स द नॉलेज which is the artha, the meaning of the Veda. When it is there in that state of the buddhi, that is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि तत् विज्ञानम तच्च अध्यवसाय लक्षणम. And this is called one status of the antakarana, that is called vijnanamaya. Therefore antakaranasya dharmah vijnanamaya kosha. So अध्यवसाय लक्षणता, निश्चयात्मिकता, विज्ञानम, वेदार्थम. These four things, if we understand, then we understand what is Vijnanamaya Kosha. So वेद के अर्थ का विचारण करके द्वारा संशय रहितता से जब हमको ज्ञान के रूप में बोध होता है, that state is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. Very, very essential. If this Vijnanamaya Kosha is not pakka in knowing meaning of the Veda mantras, then we won't do, or we will not know what the Veda mantras are have to be used for. Just like in Vyavahara also, when the Vijnanamaya is not clear pakka, like some instruments are kept there. First time when you have gone there, So Vijnanamaya is not pakka ki what is it for? Sometimes some instruments we see in that mechanical shop etc. किस लिए है वो तुरंत क्लिक नहीं होता हमको. We are seeing the object, but the Vijnanamaya is not clear about what for it is. Then will you use it for that purpose? है ना? When the गांव वाले हैं अट्टर villages, so when you give them the fork etc, some of the things, फाइव स्टार होटल में पहले पहले दिन जाते थे ना, ये फोर्क वगैरह एक एक चीज को खाने का एक अलग होता है. दैट स्ट्रॉ इज केप्ट देयर. उसको समझ नहीं आता इसे करूँ क्या. इज इट नॉट इन द होटल में फर्स्ट टाइम इफ यू ब्रिंग दैट विलेजर्स, है ना, देर इज टिश्यू पेपर, देर इज अ स्ट्रॉ, देर इज a fork, and there are some other things, even that napkin, उसको समझ में आता करूँ क्या. But slowly he does the adhyavasayanam. He is a contemplation. Then slowly he starts understanding. When the understanding comes, then he knows the purpose and meaning of that. Okay, the napkin is to wipe, or the tissue paper is to wipe, straw is for taking that cold drink, etc. So he is becoming Vijnanamaya Koshavan. Earlier संशयवाद मनोमय कोशवान, बिकॉज क्या है दिख तो रहा है कौन सा कुछ चीज है, बट व्हाट इज दैट इज नॉट नो. In the same way, purely Panchakoshas which we are studying here, when the Manomaya is the Vedatma, then what is the meaning of these Veda mantras? Where they have to be utilized? Are these mantras are contemplative nature? Are their mantras are the yajna natured? Are these mantras are for the upasana sake? Or are these mantras are for the praise of the Prakriti? Or are these mantras are to invoke the grace of the devatas? And a meaning and the purpose of the mantra. Ek mantra like Purnamadaha is a mantra. In that mantra, there is no upasana. There is only contemplation. That is reality, this is reality. From that reality, this reality came. Yet that still remains as real or Purna. That is Purnam, this is Purnam. So here there is no upasana. But when you say Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha, there is a prayer. So too, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, there is a praise. The mantra, when it is came in the mind, it is only in the Shabda Rupa, Vrityatmaka Shabda. Words in the form of thoughts, sound in the form of thoughts, expressed outside through the mouth later on. But this shloka's meaning is this one. Who tells it? Vijnanamaya. So, Rutam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami, it is Pratigna. There is a Pratigna, there is praise, there is a prayer. How many things are there in one mantra? Now, what is what? The mana doesn't know. The Buddhi knows. The instrument is given to us by the Lord, called as Buddhi or Vijnanamaya, to clearly know the Veda Artha. After knowing it only, what for that mantra is used is clearly known. As we said this now, is it praise? Is it upasana? Is it yajna? Is it contemplative thing? What it is. So again we see it कि वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि निश्चयात्मिका विज्ञानम निश्चयात्मिका विज्ञानम वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि, वेद के अर्थ को विषय बनाने वाला बुद्धि, वो भी निश्चय आत्मिका विज्ञानम. Okay, that is why it's called as Vijnanamaya Kosha. Why it's called as Vijnanamaya Kosha? Because in that Vijnana is there. How that Vijnana is there? Nischayatmika Vijnana is there. This Vijnana is related to what? Veda Artha. वेद क्या है? शब्द राशि. सो वेद रूपी शब्द राशि का अर्थ निश्चय विज्ञान के रूप में जब होता है, उसको कहते हैं विज्ञानमय कोश. प्योरली the Vedic spiritual Upanishadic Vijnanamaya Kosha. Same Vijnanamaya Kosha when you use in the world, variety of the knowledges of the world we gain. They give us the worldly activities. They help us to do worldly activity. They give the worldly result. but they don't give moksha. So that all are misuse of the intellect. Like all scientists are using the Vijnanamaya Kosha for the discovery of the outer things. Vijnanamaya Kosha is used also, outer secrets are revealed also, yet none of them are giving mukti. That is all. Therefore, anything which doesn't give us mukti is misuse only. Okay. But means what? Our Rishi Munis, first after Atma Jnanam, with the Upadhis, they find the secrets of nature whichever are required. Not like today's scientists using Vijnanamaya Kosha only to try to discover the secrets of world, that also for the Bhautika sake, for the sake of comforts, etc., and totally forgotten about the truth or reality of self. That is Maya, that is delusion. Today we will see again in our Yoga Darshana also how Videya Prakriti Laya people, their asampragnata is only Bhava Pratyaya, but that's not going to give moksha. So, just like we saw, Annamaya Kosha can be used in many ways, but all that is misusing. Only when it is used for dharma, prarabdha, sadhana, its right utilization. That is why the Lord gave it. All other is misusing Annamaya because of the freedom given to us by the Lord, because the Lord loves us. So too Pranamaya has got this purpose. Anything done other than it is misuse. Manomaya has so many capacities. That doesn't mean that it can be used for that purpose. It will be misuse. ठीक है ना? That fork I told you just now, वो कुछ खाने का होता है, उसी को किसको भोंकते भी हैं, भोंक सकते हैं. But does it mean that it is for that purpose? That I can do this work, so I'll do. I said, no, no, a rifle is given to finish the enemies, not your own friends or relatives or animals or birds or whomever you feel like. वो तो पागलपन हो गया ना. But you can do it. When a rifle is in your hands, it can be used for so many purposes. But it is all wrong, no? Only for the Rakshana that is given. Swarakshana, your self personal license is given for rifle, and देश रक्षण के लिए the army वालों को देते. Anything that rifle used for other than it is misuse only. But it can be used. But that doesn't mean you should use. Is it not crime? With that rifle, you kill 1,000 enemies. You are not, you are praised. You are given all the chakra vikram. But same one, किसी एक पंछी को, एक खरगोश को भी मारो तो उसको अंदर कर देते. Why? What is difference? Because the purpose is this. In the same way, Manomaya Kosha. Now coming to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, same. It is only for the Vedartha Grahana, the Vijnanamaya to be used. Is it not? If you do that in the Veda, what is required for Dharmartha Kama, that you do. And what is required, the moksha, that also is given in Veda, you do that. How simple the khel is, over. Like now you go to a temple. You go to temple, have darshan and come. No, no, idhar bhi jana, udhar bhi jana, shopping karna. Which is not in agenda, not required. But they have put it. They will put to test you, your integrity. But you go there, तभी जाकर कोई एक्सीडेंट होता है, गलत खाना खा बैठते हैं, फिर तबीयत खराब होती है. सीधा टेम्पल जाके आओ तो कुछ नहीं होता, इधर उधर घूमते हैं. So to the children, go to school, college, सीधा पढ़ के आ जाओ. But do they do that? They involve in all nonsense. That's why that creates problem. A person in the office, अपना काम करके आ जाओ, but then he is lost in all the people and fightings, which is just illusion. Not only it doesn't serve the main purpose, not only it obstructs the main purpose, but it also gives a misery and dukkha. Knowing this is wisdom, not knowing this is delusion. We are all under the illusion and delusion only we are working. We are living life. That's why everything we do is wrong. Every wrongdoing is giving us dukkham. That's called bondage. Sorting out all this is spirituality, Vedanta. So here Vijnanamaya Kosha is what? Vedartha Vishaya निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धिः विज्ञानमय कोशः. वेदात विषया बुद्धिः निश्चयात्मिका विज्ञानम. ओके. तच्च अध्यवसाय लक्षणम. Adhyavasaya. Adhyavasaya means contemplated and come to the clear understanding within only. So, buddhi has got vicharana samarthyam, buddhi has got the avagahana samarthyam, ability to contemplate and come to correct understanding. Third one is what? That avagahana should be nishchayatmika again. It should not again deter because of the emotions of the mind or the temptations of the senses. लुढ़क गया बुद्धि तो फिर से वी फॉल टू द लोअर कोशा लेवल. सो विचारणा, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, देन फर्मनेस इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग. अध्यवसाय इज विचारणा, वेदार्थ विषया बुद्धि इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग, निश्चयात्मिका मीन्स द फॉर्म. पुट टुगेदर इज कॉल्ड विज्ञानमय कोशम. इति च अंतःकरणस्य धर्मः. सी दैट इज व्हाई तन्मयः. Tanmaya is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Again it is summarized. Nishchaya Vijnanaihi Pramana Swarupaihi Nirvartitaha Atma Vijnanamayaha. How clear is this definition, you see? Nishchaya Vijnanaihi Pramana Swarupaihi. Okay? What is the pramana here? Veda pramana. There is no other pramana for the Buddhist jnana. So Veda ही जिसका प्रमाण है और वेद अर्थ को listening from the Guru, one's own contemplation, when he comes to the knowledge of it without any trace of doubt regarding it. Remember, there is no like a kursi, you see it. Now, is there any doubt regarding when you see the chair that it is for sitting? Kursi is to sit. This is called as Nishchaya Vijnana. There is no doubt regarding it. In the same way, वेदों के मंत्रों का जो उद्देश्य है वो ज्ञान हमको निश्चय पूर्वक होना चाहिए. एंड वो वेद में जो मंत्र है वो निश्चय है. Like what boss tells the subordinate to do is Nishchayatmika. He has no doubt. For that only he employed this fellow. But this fellow is doubtful. He doesn't want to do that, he wants to do something else. Then problem comes between boss and subordinate. So the boss is Veda mantras, subordinate is Buddhi. So Buddhi should exactly understand what is meant by Vedas. He should not have doubt, he should not have misunderstanding. So प्रमाणस्वरूपैः निश्चय विज्ञानैः निर्वर्तितः आत्मा. निर्वर्तितः आत्मा means that individuality which executes, which lives with the knowledge, which is doubtless, which is convinced, which is on the authority of the Shastra. See, this means what? That should be the Vijnanamaya Kosha. But it is not there now. First of all, वेदार्थ वेद प्रमाण ही नहीं हमारे वेद ज्ञान में. वेद को प्रमाण ही नहीं लिया तो वेद का कहाँ पढ़ेंगे? पढ़कर when you do with the intellect, the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the Vicharana, then the clarity of understanding comes. Is it not? And such people are really using the Vijnanamaya Kosha for the purpose for which it is given. But that Vijnanamaya again, go with the mana and हाँ में हाँ मिला सकता है, go with the indriya, go with the senses. That is what it is doing now. Like the mana says, let me enjoy that object. It gives pleasure. It gives pleasure is right. Okay, so the Vijnanamaya Kosha is substantiating what mana is seeking. That let me go for that sense object, it gives pleasure. But that Vijnanamaya Kosha should also think, no, is it required? It gives pleasure, but is it required? What is the purpose of the mind? What is the purpose of the life? Should it not think if that pleasure के लिए आप जाओगे, in how many ways it creates problem? Should the intellect think or not? But is it thinking it? That's the called as Vijnanamaya Kosha sold out to Manomaya and Pranamaya. That is what generally happens to us. The Deha, Indriya, Mana, they propose, intellect supports. That is how put together we go from the Shreyo Marga to the Preyo Marga. On the other hand, if the Vijnanamaya Kosha has the firm understanding of Veda mantras, which tells us the goal and means. And that Vijnanamaya Kosha, if it can command the mana and the indriyas and deha to follow it, to you to walk in the path, to reach the goal indicated by the Vedanta, will it not be an integrated effort to reach the truth as indicated by the Vedas? देख लो. That is the meaning of all this understanding. Each kosha we understand, we know that it is not the Atma. Same time, each kosha, for what purpose we have to use for evolving, and what is the reason because of which we suffer misusing of these koshas. Hmm. So the inherent thing like a तलवार है चाकू है. So चाकू का नेचर ही है वो काटता है. Then only you can use it for cutting vegetables. In that the ability of cutting can be misused for cutting somebody's hand. No, you cannot ask ना, but ये चाकू में एक काटने का कैपेसिटी भगवान ने क्यों रखा? भगवान has put the capacity of काटने का to cut the vegetable, not to cut somebody. नहीं नहीं उसमें काटने की शक्ति है इसलिए सबका हाथ पैर भी काटूंगा मैं. No, this is where we go wrong. In the same way, Buddhi can have the Vijnana. But Buddhi, if he has the Vijnana of the Bhautikavada, which creates the desire, so then we suffer. That's why intelligent people suffer intelligently. Because of so much of the worldly vyavahara, they want to command, they want to order, they want people to do what they want. Are काय का people है? Everyone is the expression of Maya only. But then he doesn't understand it. Scientists, so much of struggle, suffering they do to discover this, discover that. But again, a question is asked. But scientists are discovering so many things. Is it not making life comfortable, Swami? You are also making use of them. Yeah, but is it leading to mukti? That is the main question. This is how again and again contemplating will come to right track of understanding. So, Nishchayatmika, sorry, Nishchaya Vijnanaihi, Pramana Sarupaihi, Nirvartita Atma Vijnanamaya. So, the Vijnanamaya Kosha is that self in me where there is the Pramana Janita Nishchaya Vijnana is there. Pramana is Veda Pramana. Nishchaya is a firm. Vijnanam is knowledge or understanding. So, convinced correct knowledge of what Veda says actually should be the Vijnanamaya Kosha. But it is now mixed up with so many things. Properly to protect from the winter, you have to have a shirt. But in that shirt, so many designs are put, so many pockets are put, so many types of buttons are put, zip is put. अब इतना हंगामा एक्चुअल ओरिजिनल चेयर शर्ट के लिए जरूरत नहीं है. बट पीपल आउट ऑफ फैंसी कुछ भी कर ही जाते हैं. टू लिव इन अ हाउस प्रॉपरली हाउस शुड बी लाइक. बट इतना सारा उसको इंटीरियर एक्सटीरियर ये सब एडेड थिंग्स दे आर नॉट नेसेसरी. विदाउट दैट आल्सो पीपल आर लिविंग. है ना. एक खिड़की वेंटिलेटर होना चाहिए, दरवाजा आने जाने का होना चाहिए, चार दीवार होना चाहिए, बस खत्म. बट इज देयर एनी एंड टू दोस एडिशंस? विथ एवरी एडिशन वी आर बिकमिंग स्लेव ओनली टू दैट. जब तक मार्बल स्टोन नीचे नहीं है तो मैं बैठ नहीं सो नहीं सकता हूँ. अर्लियर तो मिट्टी का ही होता था. Are you understanding how we get deluded by the unnecessary things as necessary? गिव एन एग्जाम्पल, इनमें शास्त्र को पढ़कर उसके अर्थ के द्वारा धर्मार्थ का निर्वहन करते हुए मोक्ष के लिए जाना, इतना ही सीमा के लिए विज्ञानमय कोश दिया गया, उतना ही करना है हमको। उसके अलावा इफ यू जस्ट गो ऑन मिसयूजिंग विज्ञानमय फॉर वेरी अदर गैदरिंग, दैट इट विल बिकम प्रॉब्लम। लाइक घर में जो चीज जरूरत है उसको रखो, उससे ज्यादा जो भी रखा वही प्रॉब्लम होता है। इन द माइंड आल्सो, whatever the emotions required, only that you have no problem. Any extra unwanted, they are the cause of problem in the body. Exactly, the food should go take care of all limbs of the body. That much food we take. Where is any of the diseases coming? Is only extra food taken that which creates problems everywhere. कितने फ्रेंड्स चाहिए, दो चार एक्स्ट्रा प्रॉब्लम everywhere. The extra is the problem. We have to avoid it. So this much we have understood कि निश्चय विज्ञान ही प्रमाण स्वरूप ही निर्वर्तित आत्मा विज्ञानमय। तो विज्ञान is that state of our intellectual doubtless understanding about the meaning of the authentic scriptures called as Vedas. Here in the pure Vijnanamaya Kosha's definition. But same Vijnanamaya Kosha, when you use it in the world, there the pramana is different. You know, like your father told. So your father is pramana to you. Therefore, what father told, you take it as Nishchaya Vijnana. Because he never says wrong. But what father said, it is not anything related to Vedanta or Veda. But generally, even in व्यवहार कोई भी प्रमाण के द्वारा किसी विषय का निश्चय विज्ञान होता है, उसी को विज्ञानमय कोश कहते हैं. That is how we conduct. But problem is what? Sometimes the pramana themselves are dosha yukta. Therefore, the vijnanam, like you listen to your friend, take him as pramana. उसने कहा उधर जाओ, या why will he say wrong करके you went, but when you went there, it is not there. So you had a nischaya vijnana in you because you took him as pramana. Accordingly, you reached there. But what he said was not there. So your effort is right, your belief is right, but destination is reached is wrong because you took him as pramana, but he is not correct pramana. That is why Dehendriya Mana are not pramana to know Paramatma. Only Veda is pramana because Veda is अपौरुषेय परमात्मा. सो केवल वेद ने कहा कि परमात्मा है, इसलिए हमको मानना पड़ता है, क्योंकि आंख मन बुद्धि उसको नहीं देख सकता. डजंट मीन दैट इट इज नॉट देयर. इफ यू आस्क मन बुद्धि एंड प्राण इंद्रिया, हैव यू सीन सेल्फ, दे से नो ओनली because they have no capacity to see. They don't have capacity to see. Therefore, they cannot be pramana. Atindriya Vishaya Vedaha Pramanam. Brahma Tvitiye Shrute Pramanam. This is how it is there, like that. So, then next, very interesting thing. What is Vijnanamaya Kosha? We came to a certain understanding. It is now proved, it is justified. Thereafter, each of the limb of the Vijnanamaya Kosha will be very profoundly explained to us. Tomorrow that we will see. But the second part is see, Pramana Vijnana Purvakaha Hi Yajnadihi Tayate. Tayate means conducted. Yajnadihi Tayate means Yajna, Upasana are conducted. Naturally, by whom? By me, the individual or Jiva. When I, the individual Jiva, when I am conducting Yajna Adi, is it not that Yajna done Pramana Vijnana Purvakaha? Pramana is Veda Pramana. Vijnana means clarity about the process of that Yajna. It is a order also here. इट इज ए हिंट एज वेल एज ऑर्डर. हिंट क्या है कि देखो कि कोई भी यज्ञ करते हो ऐसे थोड़ी करते हो, विज्ञान के साथ. और विज्ञान भी किसके ऊपर? अथॉरिटी के ऊपर आधारित. अगेन हियर आल्सो अथॉरिटी कैन बी ए पंडित जी, ए ब्राह्मण, ए वेल विशर. Which are the secondary authorities? The primary authority always is Veda. सो वेद रूपी प्रमाण को लेकर उसका विज्ञान को समझकर एक कर्ता यज्ञ कर्म करता है. Is it not? Now he is it's an order also. Suggestion क्या है? Your life should be full of the yajnas. The yajnas are two types, Dravya yajna and Jnana yajna. For both of them, for you the authority, pramana should be Vedas. So this is how I, a karta, should do only yajna karma. And that should have the clear understanding, and that understanding and the yajna to be done all should be authorized by Veda. See that? Pramana purvakaihi, pramana vijnana purvakahi yajnadita iste. देन यज्ञ आदि हेतुत्वम च वक्ष्यति श्लोकेन. आगे हमको यज्ञ आदि का ये विज्ञानमय कोश ही हेतु है. दैट विल बी टोल्ड आफ्टर द फाइव लिम्स आर एक्सप्लेन्ड. एंड देन व्हेन quotation of the Rigveda mantra is said, like for every kosha having explained by the Yajurveda, we are seeing a shloka quoting the Rigvedana. That time we will see Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Karmani Tanute Vicha Vijnanam Brahma Chetveda Tasma Chenna Pramadyati Sharire Papmano Hitva Sarvan Kaman Samashtrataiti. Then, other than this Vijnana is Anandamaya, which will be the topic of fifth Anuvakam. Now we are in the Panchama Anuvaka, fourth Anuvakam. So in the fourth Anuvaka, the Vijnanamaya Kosha is this much told. Now tomorrow we will see it's Shira is Shraddha, then Dakshina Paksha is Rutam, Uttara is Satyam, then Yoga Atma, Mahapucham Pratishtha. These five things will be thoroughly discussed. Don't miss tomorrow's class. So we are today summarized all the koshas once more. Then what sadhana we have to do with them, and how each kosha, if not properly understood and used for the purpose for which it is given, we get lost in misusing them. That become cause of dukkha. Jivan Mukta uses Panchakoshas for the seva of the world, or as told by the Lord. Very clear. You and I, the Baddha Purushas, should use the Panchakoshas to become Jivan Mukta. This is called correct understanding. The Panchakoshas, other than for the Mukti through sadhana, can be used for Indian ways, but should not be, need not be. If not, we are deluded. That's called moha. With that delusion only, every adi upadhis we are using in a wrong manner, that is becoming the cause of dukkha. ये हमको इतना जल्दी पकड़ सके उतना अच्छा होता है. And we have to form. That is why वेद पढ़ो तो वेद में बताएंगे क्या करना, उसके लिए कौन से उपाधि दिया, उसको कैसे यूज करना, उसी में फॉर्म हो जाना. Life should be like the 12 number spanner is used for the 12 number bolt. Is it not? So when you have to operate the 12 number bolt or whatever, 12 number spanner is used. After that, it is kept away. It is not used for the 13 number or 11 number. Is it not? In that spanner, to use it for 13 and 11, there is no capacity. There is the only difference between the spanner and our instruments. Our instruments, other than working for 12, they can work for 11 and 9 also, or 13, which is not required. We should not use it. Understood? Just because in the mind we can have sentiments, emotions, attachment, doesn't mean you should have. If you have to have, it should have the pramana. Like the parents should have for the children, it is pramana. Because then only through that prema, they can make the children listen what to do and they can get it done. उतना तक उसको यूज करके फिर से साइड पे रख देना. Very interesting discussion it is. I don't know how much you are attentive to catch. Hmm. Tomorrow we will see one by one why Shraddha is head, why Rutam Dakshinam is a very, very essential, very good topic. Let us by God's grace study. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarashibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shruti Namaha Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu Hari Om. Very good.